But I went to Georgia Tech with the goal of majoring in mechanical engineering and getting my pre-med prerequisites and going to medical school. Why was I thinking that? Well, I chose to major in mechanical engineering not because of a deep dive that I did. I took physics as a senior in high school and did pretty well. And I heard somebody else talking about mechanical engineering. I was like, hey, that sounds cool. You need physics, don't you? Let's do it. So that was the reason for me choosing to major in mechanical engineering. I also was going to get my pre-med prerequisites. Why was I going to do that? Because most of the people in my circle, or most of the people that I saw around me that had monetary success, that were really revered in the community, I saw doctors and lawyers. I was like, yeah, I didn't want to be a lawyer. So you know what? I'm going to go to medical school. So pre-med prerequisites, majoring in mechanical engineering, going to Georgia Tech. Really, it had zero alignment with who I was. And it was the first time that a misalignment really kind of slapped me in the face, because I got to Georgia Tech and ultimately before college, pretty good student, mid 3 point something GPA, pretty good on the SAT and all, and kind of a diverse set of experiences, which made me a good candidate to go to Georgia Tech. But when I got there, I hit the fan. I mean, it hit the fan literally from an academic perspective. My first term at Georgia Tech, my GPA was a 1.91. I remember it vividly. 1.91. I had an A in a 2 credit hour class, a C in a 5 hour credit class, and a D in another 5 hour credit class, which allowed me to have a 1.91 GPA. Academically, I had never performed like that before. So I went from a 1.91 GPA, again, majoring in something that I had no business majoring in. It just sounded good. Picking something from a pre-med prerequisite perspective that just kind of sounded good, but really was not in alignment with me. That caused my stuff to hit the fan from an academic perspective. I went from that 1.91 to being on academic warning, to academic probation, to ultimately academic suspension, where they cut all of my financial aid. And so literally I was going to get kicked out of school. And, the blessing of it all was I had a grandmother I could call. And I called my grandmother and told her what was going on. She actually paid my tuition that semester. And that was the only reason I stayed in college that semester, because she was able to pay my tuition. Ultimately, they reinstated my financial aid. So I paid her back and, I was able to move forward. And I ultimately changed my major to economics because I enjoyed economics and I felt business would be something that I would move into. But the thing is, it was that tale of understanding that being misaligned has ramifications. And that was kind of the first instance in which misalignment kind of showed or reared its ugly head in my life.